Sometimes, success doesn't arrive with noise. Sometimes it begins in the quietest room of your life, in the hands of someone who refuses to give up. This is the story of Elias Marek, a man who learned how to rise, not because life was easy, but because he dared to begin again with nothing but broken pieces. Elias lived in a small coastal town. He wasn't wealthy, he wasn't famous, but he had a gift. He made lanterns, soft, glowing, beautiful lanterns that somehow felt like hope you could hold in your hands. But talent doesn't always equal success. For years, Elias worked in a cramped attic, barely earning enough to survive. Yet he dreamed of the Winter Festival, the biggest event of the year. Winning there could change everything, and so he built a masterpiece, a lantern carved like a tree, with emerald leaves that shimmered under the light. Months of work, months of belief. On the morning of the festival, he carried it through the crowd, and then someone bumped into him. The lantern slipped, shattered, destroyed. People gasped. Some apologized. But Elias, he just froze, staring at the ruins of his dream. That night, alone in his attic, he whispered the words so many of us have felt before. Maybe this isn't meant for me. He stopped creating, stopped believing. For weeks, the tools lay cold and untouched. One evening, there was a knock at his door. It was Anna, his elderly neighbor, holding a small box. "I found these by the festival square," she said. Inside were a few unbroken green glass pieces from his shattered lantern. "They're just scraps now," Elias muttered. But Anna smiled. "No, scraps are what you start with, not what you end with." Those words stayed with him. That night he returned to his bench, slowly, quietly, almost fearfully. He didn't try to make a masterpiece. He just tried to make something. And from those tiny scraps, he crafted a small lantern. Simple, imperfect, but alive. It wasn't much, but it was a beginning. Months later, Elias finally gathered his courage and set up a stall at the local market. He smiled at strangers. He arranged the lanterns perfectly. He waited and waited. Not a single lantern sold. That night, under the street lamps, he walked home with a box full of unsold work and a heart full of doubt. He almost threw the box away. Almost. But something inside whispered, "Not yet." He gave himself one day to feel broken, and then he tried again. On a windy afternoon, when Elias least expected it, a woman approached his stall. Her name was Mara, a designer from the city. She studied his lanterns with soft eyes. "These," she said, "feel like memory, gentle, human." Elias blinked. I make them in my attic." And then, with a smile that would change his life, she said, "Would you supply my studio with a few each month? Actually, I'll take all of these." Elias packed his lanterns with trembling hands. This time, the tears were not from failure, but from relief, from validation, from the quiet return of hope. Elias didn't become a celebrity. He didn't become a millionaire, but he became fulfilled. His lanterns now glowed in homes and boutiques across the region, and his workshop, no longer silent, but full of warm light and the soft clink of creation. When people asked him what changed his life, he never said Mara. He always said, "It was the night I chose to build something from the broken pieces." Now let's take a moment to explore the powerful lessons this story teaches us. 1. Success can start quietly. Big changes often begin in small, quiet moments. 2. Talent is not enough. You must keep trying even when life is hard. 3. Failure is not the end. When something breaks, you can still start again. 4. Small steps are important. Even a simple beginning can lead to something great. 5. Kind words can help us move forward. Support from others can give us new hope. 6. It's normal to fail more than once. You learn and grow every time you try again. 7. Don't give up too early. Rest if you need to, but don't stop completely. 8. Good things happen when you keep showing up. Opportunities come when you continue your work. 9. Happiness is more important than fame or money. Doing what you love can give you a good life.